Real estate is an amazing industry, but you're going to get what you put in. Meaning, if you want to do this as a part time business, as a side hustle, yeah, you'll be able to, squeeze in a deal here and there. But if you want to make it a career, you got to go all in. And what I mean by all in is there is no plan B. My plan B is make sure that plan A works. And you have to have a why. Why do you get up every single day, even on days you don't feel like doing it? You have to have a why. For some of us, it might be family or kids. For some, might be I want to retire early. I want to buy some rental properties. I want to pay off some debt. I want to send my kids to college. Whatever it is, you got to have a why, because that why is going to be that burning desire that pushes you to do the activities to generate business. And a lot of people assume that my dream was to become a real estate broker. No. My dream ever since I could remember was to be a performer, to be a singer, musician, and then life threw a curveball, and my mom passed away when she was 54. So that was literally 20 years ago. And I wanted to do something completely different because my biggest fan was gone. And I remember walking into a small mom and pop real estate office in the city of Ontario. I remember vividly, off of the 10 freeway and Archibald. And they had a banner that said, "Get your real estate license." And I was like, well, I'm going to give this a try. Let's see what happens. And I remember I didn't have the cash. And I remember I used either one or two credit cards. True story. And back then, it was like $450, which, if you calculate inflation, those $450 from 21 years ago, it probably equates to about maybe $800. Like, looking back at it, it was pretty damn expensive. But I got my real estate license, and I went to work for this brokerage, small mom and pop, that same company. And I remember they started me at a 70-30 split. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm new, but I'm going to get 70% of the pie. I gotta start somewhere, only to realize that the 70 was going to the broker. And I was getting 30%. So I was getting shafted. But this was what made it even worse. I wasn't getting training. I wasn't getting mentoring. I wasn't getting coaching. I wasn't being taught the basics and the fundamentals. I didn't have scripts. I wasn't allowed to use the office's open house signs. Everybody was so secretive. You couldn't talk to the top producers. Everybody had closed doors, and you couldn't say anything to anyone. The broker was never available. And I was just like, nah, I don't think this is what I envisioned. But I'm not going to give up. And I found another company that was very big on training. And I was with them for 2 years. Then I went to another big company, and I was there for 8 years before I opened my own office. And how I opened my office was at that big brokerage that I was in for 8 years. I would always ask my broker, hey, what do you think it would take for me to open my own office? Well, Ulysses, I don't think you want to do that. There's a lot of liability. You have to babysit agents, and it's a pain in the ass, and you don't want to do that. And I'm thinking, that's crazy. You have 4 or 5 offices, maybe 200-300 agents under you, but you're trying to discourage me. And I'm one of those people that the more you discourage me, the more I want to know why you're discouraging me. And I reached out to a friend from social media, Michael Yoke, who I'll always be grateful for, because he gave me the opportunity to open my own shop. This was early 2016, and did not look back. Opened my own office before I even became a broker. He brokered me for a few months. Then I became a broker. At one point I had about 100 agents. Personal production was between 40 to 60 deals a year just for my own personal production. And when I combined the rest of my office, we were doing about 120, 150 deals a year. And this was for 9 years. And about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, I decided to start business coaching for real estate agents, because I didn't like the fact that 70% of my peers, don't sell one single house a year. And I'm like, you know what? I want to pay it forward. I want to give back. And there's a need for real estate coaching, but from actually somebody that's doing it, not somebody that either never sold real estate or sold real estate 50 years ago. And I'm not going to say any names. There's a billion coaches, and you know what they say about coaches. A lot of real estate coaches are just, mediocre agents. But again, with me, with the Vega team, we had the proven track record. We had a successful office. I had the broker license. I had the leverage. And I felt that I could bring a lot of value because, again, I'm in the trenches. I'm writing offers. I'm getting listings. I'm door knocking. I'm doing all the activities that agents need to do in order to prospect. And I felt that I could relate to the agents that didn't have a broker that was bringing value, that, they didn't have a mentor. They didn't have somebody like that. And that's how I became a broker and a mentor and a coach. So, really zone in on why you want to become a realtor and what are you willing to sacrifice. Because if you think you're going to have your weekends off and you're going to be able to spend family time, which to me, familia is everything. When you're starting out, kiss your weekends goodbye, because you're going to be out there door knocking, prospecting, hosting open house on behalf of other agents, attending networking events so that you can meet people and make connections. So if you think you're going to have more time to enjoy your family and the free time, forget about it. And if you're not willing to put in the work, this might not be a career for you. And I want to keep it 100. Part-time agents will deliver part-time results. If you're looking to sell your house, are you going to sell half a house or a full house? If you were to hire an attorney, do you want to hire an attorney that does one case a year? Do you want to hire a surgeon that does one brain surgery a year, or somebody that does a couple of hundred? That's my tip.